Blog Talk Radio.
Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. This is the Chopping It Up Show, brought to you by the Marching Podcast and Blog Talk Radio. I'm your official Marching Podcast announcer, David Thompson, and here's your host, the Phantom Podcaster himself, Joe Beard.
Good evening and welcome to Chopping It Up. I'm your host, Joe Beard, and happy to be of service for you tonight. Today is May 21st, 2013, 5 o'clock on the West Coast, 8 o'clock on the East Coast. Thank you for listening. Today is very special because it is my mother's birthday. Happy birthday to you, Mom. Feliz cumpleaños. Te quiero mucho. Love you very much. Everything, you know how important moms are, so happy to be on this day. Thoughts and prayers out for all the people in Oklahoma after all the devastation. Send all of the prayers and good energy to the people your way. At any time, we just want to thank about everyone at this time, and so this is an uplifting broadcast. We thank you again for listening, and many prayers to all the people there, my mom, and all the people everywhere. This month is very special in addition because it is my 1 year anniversary. I started broadcasting on Blog Talk Radio 1 year ago and plans to be here many more. And this month is special, so we are chopping it up every Tuesday of this month with one of the classmates with me at Jackson State. And see here, three of them were in the band with me. Tonight we will also be chopping it up with one of the people who were in the band with me, my crab brother Cortez Bryant. Excited to have him because he's doing big things and just really surprised, you know, out of me and what he's doing, and just really honored and proud to know them all the graduates. They provide great images for HBCU institutions, making a difference and providing an image for HBCUs and for our youth to attend HBCUs. At the end of the broadcast, if you decide you like the show, then we appreciate a donation to the network, if you feel so in your heart, of course. Just simply go to themarchingpodcast.com, click on the donate button to improve the show and build our scholarship fund. Tonight, we are going to chop it up, like I say, with my crab brother Cortez Bryant, a graduate of Jackson State and came in the same year I did. Cortez played drums, and we both have really a mutual friend, how we really know each other through our mutual crab brother, Jerome Forrest, a.k.a. Black Caesar. Shout out to you out there, Black. And that's really how we interacted. I hung out and knew Black because he's from Augusta, and I knew some really good friends from Augusta at my time at Johnson C. Smith. Shout out to you, Samuel Glover out there, and shout out to you, Marcus Gaines, a.k.a. Boo. Some other people as well. I don't want to start naming people from Augusta, but automatically connected with Jerome while I was there at Jackson State, and then, you know, he hung out with Cortez pretty tight, so that's how we knew each other. And they're still hanging out pretty tight still. Him and some more crab brothers, I see them doing big things, and they were out here not too long ago at Cortez's new place. So it's just good to see everyone still hanging out after all, you know, we're starting to get kind of old. And it's just good to see everybody still doing well and, you know, being educated and in our careers. This will be a podcast and will not take calls, but you're welcome to contact the show at marchingpodcast@gmail.com. Tweet us at Marching Podcast and follow our blog 4.themarchingpodcast.com. Let's take this time to hear from our sponsors. Tonight's show is brought to you by Liquid Effects Photography, Block Band Music, Bandhead.org, Universal Credit Sources, and Big Deal Fundraising. Let's take the time to hear from them now.
Attention high school directors and alumni. Does your band need to raise money to travel, buy instruments, or uniforms? Are you looking to raise money to help your band? Well, Big Deal Fundraising is rapidly becoming one of the largest distributors of fundraising products in the industry. Big Deal is based in New York City and ships anywhere in the United States, offering quality products, fast delivery, and innovative consultation that will help you meet your fundraising goals. Call today at 855-244-4430 or visit us at BigDealFundraisingUSA.com. Big Deal Fundraising, your fundraising partner for your band or music ensemble. What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on Bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out Bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to Bandhead.org. And coming this fall, HBCUbands.com. Write that down, HBCUbands.com. Block Band is a minority-owned music business that you can think of as your assistant band director. We help grow your musicians with a great selection of traditional concert band music. Then we back up their performance with necessities like reeds, oil, drum heads, drumsticks, and mallets. Finally, we outfit your players and auxiliary in shoes, spats, and gloves that match our precise custom drills. Got band? If so, then Block Band's got you. Check blockbandmusic.com or call us at 919-698-2560. That's blockbandmusic.com, 919-698-2560. Are you thinking of tying the knot, having a party, or celebrating that special time in your life? To capture these special moments, call Liquid Effects Photography and take advantage of our 10 years of quality and experience. Liquid Effects Photography covers most of the Midwestern U.S. and will travel even farther on request. Call us at 773-454-5556. That's 773-454-5556. Or check out our website, liquideffects.com. That's LIQUIDEFFEX.com. Come experience the uniqueness of Liquid Effects Photography. Is your credit score keeping you from buying a home, a car, starting a business, or getting a job? Is your score keeping you from living the life you want? Well, look no further than Universal Credit Sources. UCS can help with charge-offs, collections, late payments, bankruptcy, foreclosure, debt settlement, tax liens, and more. Our program is affordable with results in as little as 40 days. Call now for your free 10-minute consultation with Senior Credit Analyst and Loan Officer Angie B. Call her direct line at 469-362-9904. That's 469-362-9904. Or check out the website at universalcreditsources.com. Universal Credit Sources for anything that's hurting your credit score.
Okay, we're back. We're ready to chop it up with Cortez Bryant. This is also special. I'm sitting here looking over my notes. This is not normal, but this was also the first news type of story that I presented as well, and we'll get into why I presented that news information. But a couple years ago, 1 year ago today, I introduced some news because, I was still working through the format of the show and, what exactly I was going to present on the 90 Degree Show and what I was going to say. And I was going to try to start working on news. And there was some news that I presented. So this is also the first news story that I presented. So it's good that he'll be able to explain some of that in the interview. You can contact the show if you have any comments or questions. So without further ado, Cortez Bryant. Looks like I'm going to have to load something extra here with the browser again. I'm going to go ahead and play the actual marching podcast. I'm going to play the commercial, the commercial that we've been working on for the marching podcast commercial. So I'm going to play that, and hopefully this can get reloaded. Again, this is in my own studio, so I guess I have to just continue to work with things here in and out and loading these programs. But yeah, I'll go ahead and play this commercial here and see. I think I know what's going on, but pardon the time. So let me go ahead and play that commercial while I work through our technical difficulties.
The Marching Podcast Network is a network of podcasts with the purpose to inspire, educate, and show positive images in our community. Our network produces podcasts about college marching bands, business, health, finances, college preparation, spirituality, instrumentation development, along with one-on-one interviews with strong role models in our community. All podcasts are interactive and invite you, the listener, to call in and speak. Looking for a podcast network that educates and inspires to make our world a better place? Then listen to us at blogtalkradio.com/marchingpodcast. Check out our website at themarchingpodcast.com. Tweet us at marchingpodcast or follow our blog at blog4.themarchingpodcast.com. The Marching Podcast, changing the world through positive interaction. Is your credit score keeping you from buying a home, a car, starting a business, or getting a job? Is your score keeping you from living the life you want? Well, look no further than Universal Credit Sources. UCS can help with charge-offs, collections, late payments, bankruptcy, foreclosure, debt settlement, tax liens, and more. Our program is affordable with results in as little as 40 days. Call now for your free 10-minute consultation with Senior Credit Analyst and Loan Officer Angie B. Call her direct line at 469-362-9904. That's 469-362-9904. Or check out the website at universalcreditsources.com. Universal Credit Sources for anything that's hurting your credit score. Are you thinking of tying the knot, having a party, or celebrating that special time in your life? To capture these special moments, call Liquid Effects Photography and take advantage of our 10 years of quality and experience. Liquid Effects Photography covers most of the Midwestern U.S. and will travel even farther on request. Call us at 773-454-5556. That's 773-454-5556. Or check out our website, liquideffects.com. That's LIQUIDEFFEX.com. Come experience the uniqueness of Liquid Effects Photography. What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on Bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out Bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to Bandhead.org. And coming this fall, HBCUbands.com. Write that down, HBCUbands.com. Block Band is a minority-owned music business that you can think of as your assistant band director. We help grow your musicians with a great selection of traditional concert band music. Then we back up their performance with necessities like reeds, oil, drum heads, drumsticks, and mallets. Finally, we outfit your players in auxiliary and shoes, spats, and gloves that match our precise custom drills. Got band? If so, then Block Band's got you. Check blockbandmusic.com or call us at 919-698-2560. That's blockbandmusic.com, 919-698-2560. The Marching Podcast Network is a network of podcasts with the purpose to inspire, educate, and show positive images in our community. Our network produces podcasts about college marching bands, business, health, finances, college preparation, spirituality, instrumentation development, along with one-on-one interviews with strong role models in our community. All podcasts are interactive and invite you, the listener, to call in and speak. Looking for a podcast network that educates and inspires to make our world a better place? Then listen to us at blogtalkradio.com/marchingpodcast. Check out our website at themarchingpodcast.com. Tweet us at marchingpodcast or follow our blog at blog4.themarchingpodcast.com. The Marching Podcast, changing the world through positive interaction.
Okay, we're back live. I'm telling you, this is really disappointing. Sorry for the problems with hand. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to broadcast this. I'm still messing around with the with the audios. I really apologize for the time. We'll see if wow, I think I just figured it out. All right, bear with me, people. Just 1 second here. I think I just wow. All right. Well, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and chop it up with Cortez Bryant. You're now here with the Marching Podcast, and we're honored to have our guest here, Cortez Bryant. What's going on today, CB?
What's up, bro? What's up? What's happening? I'm good.
All right, man. Well, I really appreciate you being a guest on the show. My very first episode, I was putting all this together with the podcast. Like, you were my very first story, and we'll get into what you did, what the story was. But just happy that you on here. Talk to Born and just a lot of people from our school doing big things. So I'm really proud of everybody. I just wanted to let you know that before we get started.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man. So let's get right into it. Cortez, where you from, man?
Born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Okay. Now, is your family from there? Are your folks from that area?
Yeah, everybody's from that area and currently still there. So that's home definitely.
Okay, that's what's up. Now, where did you go to high school there in New Orleans?
Went to a school called McMain, Illinois McMain High. Went there from 7th to 12th grade. We kind of a secondary school. That's my alma mater right there.
Now, being from New Orleans, I mean that's big band central. When was your first exposure to the show style marching band?
Actually, again, being from New Orleans, band is like a sport down there. It's like right up there with football team, basketball team, the band. It's popular. You know what I'm saying? It's like that out there. Me and my homeboy, I was in high school and I might have did every extracurricular activity you could think of: football, basketball, everything. And it was at a point where still wasn't playing basketball anymore, and one of my guys, I knew nothing about the band, just going to Mardi Gras parades and things of that nature, so I always knew about music and watching as a spectator, and my mother being so young, I was always exposed to music always around me, so I always enjoyed the band. So actually, me and my homeboy, he just came up it was in class in the homeroom, and he was like, yo, man, we need to get a marching band at school, you know what I'm saying? So actually, so we went around, we talked to the principal, we talked to who was the concert band director and symphonic band director in high school at that time, and told him we wanted the marching band. So me and my guy named Wes Watts, we started a petition up to get a band, and went in the process of hiring the band director and everything, man. So we actually started the band in my high school, my junior year, so I was in a band my junior and my senior year of high school, which we created at my school.
That's cool, man. So you were since like a charter member.
Yeah, the charter member, right?
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I didn't know that about you, man. So going through high school, now what did you play there in the band?
I played all percussion when we started because it was so small, so I had to bounce around. So all the percussion instruments I played in the band.
Okay. Now where did you later go to college?
Then I ended up going to Jackson State, Sonic Boom in the South. I had picked up in high school. I had picked up heavy. There was this guy who was from a neighboring school down the street. He taught me how to 12 cymbals. You know what I'm saying? Which I thought was fascinating to me because I thought it was so dope. So I picked that up a lot. And whenever I everybody at Jackson State don't know this, but I'm not be honest. I was actually going to Southern when I was graduating, but I got a letter. I'm telling everybody last. I was on the record, yeah. So I was going to Southern upon graduation, right? Because I'm from New Orleans. It was kind of natural for a lot of people from New Orleans to go right there to Southern.
Right.
But it just so happened that maybe this was like Jackson State had sent me a letter. I didn't know nothing about Jackson State. Nothing, not one thing about Jackson State. All I knew was Southern and Grambling. Being from New Orleans, that's all we was exposed to, you know. So when they sent me a letter, I didn't think nothing of it. Then it was just this one summer. I was just, you know, I had just got a letter from Southern saying that they didn't have any housing and left. This was Southern summer before I was supposed to go to school. But they didn't have any housing, and I was gonna have to pay for housing out of pocket. At that time, you know, I mean, me and my mother, we was the only ones. She was the only one to raise me. We had no money to pay for any off-campus housing. So I was like, what am I gonna do? So I was on the park around my house, man, and one of my homeboys who was so happily was at Jackson State. We were just shooting ball, and he just asked me, you know, Taz, are you still doing that band thing? You know what I'm saying? You still in the band, but you need to check out Jackson State. You need to come up there. They're giving out money. You know, you really need to check this out. And I was like, what? It was the same day I got this letter, man. It was crazy. So I thought it was kind of a fake thing. So I called my mom that day, and I was like, yo, look at this Jackson State. See about Jackson State. So she turned around, got me registered to find out what band camp was, and there it is. And, you know what I'm saying? And I went first day, didn't know nobody, didn't know nothing about Jackson, you know, but, you know, I was like, I'm going to do it. They had the housing, it accepted me, you know, I had the money. So everything turned out right, and that's how I ended up at Jackson State.
That's pretty cool, man, because, you know, it's funny. Jackson State wasn't my first choice either, you know. I was thinking about Hampton for a little while, and I went to Johnson C. Smith for a year.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And then I came. So I was your crab brother in '97, and then our other crab brother Calvin. I can't remember Calvin's last name, but I remember he came from Southern.
Yeah. Calvin Berry.
There it is. So that's what's up, man. You know, that we all got there together. So it's really cool, you know, class of '97. That's one of the greatest crab classes of all time, I believe. You know what I'm saying? 1997.
Right.
Just outstanding class. So I have to ask you, man, what was your most memorable time there in your freshman year?
Probably was, man, being from New Orleans and getting there, you know what I'm saying, me playing cymbals at Jackson State, you know, I kind of was advanced upon everybody else, because this when cymbal twirling, flashing wasn't popular at the time, you know, around the HBCU, you know what I'm saying. It might have been 2 or 3 schools that were really doing it, Southern Grambling, maybe Texas Southern at the time, you know. So it was easy for me, you know what I'm saying. Once I learned the 27-minute cadence that I never had to do in New Orleans, our cadence was so short. But after I figured out the series, our traditional series cadence at Jackson State, you know, I pretty much had a spot solidified on the line, you know. But what they really teach in the percussion section in WT1 Thunder at Jackson State is just working together and bringing up, you know, the next guy, you know what I'm saying? So as advanced as I was on the instrument I was playing, you know, the upperclassmen really felt like, you know, made me feel like crap. Until, you know, everybody else, all my other crab brothers was progressing or moving toward the direction of being better and being able to play in the game. So my best friend, homeboy, crab brother Black, he had this is his first time playing cymbals. So, you know, so it was a struggle for him. So it was late nights. I mean, from band camp on, you know, after practice, we used to stay up all night just so I could help him get to where he had to get. And I think one of the most rewarding moments was the first game, he was able to march, and he was able to stand next to me and march next to me, because it felt like he was accomplished, you know what I'm saying, to come there and not play instrument at all and get taught from scratch, you know, and the moment he got everything and everything hit, you know what I'm saying, that was that rewarding moment, because he was, I think, the last person on our craft line to march the game. So once he was there and all my craft brothers was there, it was a great feeling, you know. It was a feeling like, yo, yeah, we worked hard, you know, we practiced every night, and now all of us are here and all of us marching together in the stadium. So that was probably one of the most rewarding moments of my career, yeah.
Man, you kind of blew me away with that one. Black, Jerome Forrest is his government name, really good friend of both of ours, my frat brother now, but you blew me away with that, because I thought Black played these in high school. Like, I mean, he was back there. I saw him twirl at games. I saw him march. He's my crab brother. Like, I never knew he started from scratch, because he's good. You know what I'm saying? He part of the line. You know, like, he was, wow. That's amazing to me, because, like, I didn't know that he started from scratch, you know. And another thing about you, you know, coming from St. Louis, and I don't think it's any different now. I mean, I hadn't lived there since '96, but the band culture there was, you know, obsolete. You know, it wasn't real, or, you know, it's not like it is in New Orleans or anywhere down south. So I didn't see anybody twirling cymbals at all. You know, even I went to go see Jackson State, you know, all my life growing up, because my dad was from there, but I never looked at the percussion, because I'm a trumpet player, you know. So seeing that, man, I was just like blown away, and seeing you do that, I was like, what is he doing? And they was like, oh man, he from New Orleans. That's what, you know, a lot of trumpet players, oh man, that's what they do. That's how they do it. And then, of course, hearing the term Z's and cymbals, I mean, it was you know, it was definitely a opening experience to me then. So it was cool, you know, to see that. But I'm really glad to hear about, you know, Black learning from scratch. I can't believe that I can't believe we recording on that one. I'm still like, I'm amazed at that. Okay, so we had some good years. How many years did you march there at Jackson State?
I marched up to my senior year, so I marched out for half the senior year. I marched 3.5 years.
Okay.
That's my senior year. I marched up to half the senior year. Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. So, what was your major when you were there at Jackson State?
I was a mass communications major at Jackson State.
Okay. So, did you have, other than the band, like, did you have dreams or aspirations of working somewhere like in the media field or something?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought I actually was going to do. I never thought I would be doing what I'm doing today. You know, I was all throughout college, being a mass comm major, I was a concentration in broadcast production, which is all the guys behind the scenes, behind the cameras. I didn't want to be in front of the camera. Anything, you know, I thought I was going to be in some type of production room, some type of editing room. So, you know, all through college, I worked at the news, the local news station. I worked at the campus news station. You know, I worked at the public access channel, thinking that, you know, I was going toward being in the media field. Even upon graduation, my senior year, I had a job lined up with CNN. So that's what I thought I was leaning toward before I got hit with the shift, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, cause yeah, man. I mean, I was amazed. Now, I think like the year after I graduated, I came back and I saw you. I think I saw you in Atlanta. I think for the game. I think Jackson State played A&T. I think I saw you down there for that game, and
I was there.
Yeah, so then like later on, I just like see you on like VH1 or something. Like I like you got to tell me, like, what happened? Well, how did you get to like where you are now?
I mean, actually, that school, McMain, that I was talking about in the beginning of the interview, is where I met my current artist, who's the first artist I ever managed, Lil Wayne. He went to that school, you know what I'm saying? He went to that school. I was in 10th grade. He came in as a 7th grader. And the school was like a magnet school, so we probably was at one of the best public schools in the city. You know, we had to take a test to get in. You know, it was, you know, you had to take a test to maintain a certain GPA. So it wasn't a lot of guys from like the hood and things like that in our school. You know, our school was mixed at the time. You know, very diverse. So, you know, certain people kind of stuck out. And when Wayne first got to McMain, he kind of stuck out, you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, this cooler kid. So he started hanging with me. I kind of took him under my wing at that time, you know, as me being an upperclassman and he being, you know, just coming to the school. So we started hanging out. And actually, this is when he's 11, 12 years old. He was rapping. He was rapping at this time. He was the only person rapping in school. You know, the only person rapping, just beating on his chest, rapping around. Like, this was straight taboo for everybody in my school at this time.
Right.
So, maybe a little bit after that same year before the end of the year, he shot himself. He had a self-inflicted gun wound, and his mother kind of took him away from music. You know, so when he came back to school that next year, this is the same year I started the band. So he still was my homie. I still took him under my wing. So his mother didn't let him rap anymore, let him be around Cash Money more because she felt like, you know, it was too dangerous. So he was looking to get into other things at the time. So by me starting the band and him, you know, being under my wing, he was like, yo, I want to join the band, you know. So he was in the band.
Wow.
He played cymbals and stuff in a band for like a entire year. So for the entire football season and the parade season, he marched. A lot of people didn't know that, but yeah, he marched, and we just got tired. Our bond got tighter. You know, he was like a little brother to me, you know. So we ended up being close during the whole time. You know, his mother ended up letting him go back to music because that's where his heart was. I ended up graduating, going off to school. Maybe the next year, 98, 99, is when Cash Money Records popped off, you know, and he popped off with it, you know. So during that time, I actually sat out a couple semesters in school, and I sat out a couple semesters in school to go on the road, travel, see if I really wanted to do it, you know, live that life. But I felt like, I didn't want to live that life. So I ended up coming back to Jackson. But we kept our friendship and became best tight friends throughout the whole thing, throughout the whole time. You know, as his career was bubbling and growing in the music business, I was just in school chilling. So right during my senior year, you know, my last semester actually, right before my last semester, maybe November, December time, you know, he had never had a manager before. So he was like, he was at a point in his career where he wanted his own representation. So he asked me to be his manager, you know. So I kind of, you know, at this point, I didn't know what like I said, at this point, I'm driven off CNN and things like that, and I didn't know what God had for me in my future. I thought that was it, you know what I'm saying? So I prayed on it, and he really got my answer, and I just jumped in. I told him basically, you know, I don't know nothing about the music business, but you know, I'm not a dumb guy, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I told him we could learn and grow together, and that was it. When I graduated, I jumped right into the music business, and that's how I started.
That's outstanding, man. And just for the listeners and people to know, you know, Cortez, you know, Cash Money and all that, you know, it was popping off when we were in school, like we were in college. Right. So you know, Cortez was not the dude going around campus like, you know, that's my boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Just letting people know about your character as far as, you know, like, you know, me and Snoop and me and Dre, we be in the studio together, you know what I'm saying? The people out there, I hope you get my joke, but yeah, it's a family show, so I can't really go there. But yeah, but definitely, that's something that's really cool, man. That you were still positive and focused on the education you guys learned together. So, what would you say has been your most memorable experience? Because a lot of us have seen you, and I'm sure a lot of the people listening, they've seen things about you. What would you say has been your most memorable experience up to this point?
I think my most memorable experience probably is when Wayne won the year he won like 7, 8 Grammys. Because that's like the highest plateau you could get in the music business. That's the biggest award you can achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like the same situation with Black in the band. It's always been, we grinded, Wayne and I, we grinded together. I went from being DJ, assistant, security in the beginning, like I was the person who did everything, and we evolved and we learned the business together. He did his thing on the creative side. I did my thing on the business side, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy by his image. We had a lot of doors shut on us in the beginning because of his image and his content and his music, and people didn't recognize it. People didn't recognize how long he had been in the game since 99, 98 time, So to finally see him get out there and win a Grammy was rewarding, because I knew that at this point that the masses, the masses, not the Wayne fans who've been with him in the beginning, but the masses were finally paying attention and respected him for the artist that he was and what he had given to music. And so that was one of the biggest highlights of my music business career.
Yeah, man, I definitely noticed just, being, listening to hip hop myself, how how he matured, late 90s, how he was, his delivery, his style or whatever. But then, early 2000s, I guess 04, 05, he really, came grown into the game as far as his delivery and what he was saying. And it was noticeable. I'm sure, Wayne is huge now, but it was definitely noticeable to me, what he was doing. It was, like you said, it wasn't the little brother type joint stuff anymore. You know what I mean? He was coming out full-fledged. So that's really cool, man. We're getting somewhat towards the end of the interview, and I wanted to talk about actually my best moment as far as what I've seen you do. And this was my first, this is my first report. Like I said at the beginning, I was starting a podcast, and I didn't really know what my content was going to be, what I was going to be talking about. But the news at the time was that you gave $500,000 to the band program there at Jackson State. And that's something that, I think all of us, we would love to do. We make it, or we get to a certain point, we want to give back. Could you talk about what made you want to do that, and then, how you decided to do it, and where you did it? Could you talk about where you I guess, presented the check to everybody?
Yeah, definitely. My frat brother, KK Style, the band fraternity, Lowell Hollinger, who's now the band director over at Jackson State, he came up to me with the idea of creating this endowment fund. I never knew what an endowment fund was,
Mm-hmm.
And he told me basically it's an account that where you put money in this bank account in the university's account dedicated toward whatever department or whatever place you want to put the money, and the money just sits there forever as long as the institution is open,
okay.
and whatever program can use the interest off the money sitting in the bank every year toward whatever they want to do with it. So he was trying to, just like these other schools and these major schools, most of these major nature, uniforms, et cetera, et cetera. So, Noel came with the idea. It was like, this is what I want to start. You know what I'm saying? I want to start this for the band just to give back to the band program. And him knowing me, you know what I'm saying, what I'm doing, the success I've had, he just took a shot and was like, would you be interested in getting involved? And I was like, yeah, man, definitely I would get interested. I was like, at that point, I was like, yeah, definitely. Then he was like, I'm thinking about putting in Dr. Louis Liddell's name, who was our band director while we were there. And this is on his way out. So he was like, thinking about dedicating this one to him, just in his name for what he did for us, So the first jump, I was like, yeah, Then I thought about it, and what really made me come up, then he was like, think about how much you want to pledge, put it to this account, So, I thought about it, and I thought about how Sonic Boom of the South really shaped me, and the things that it taught me, how it helped me grow as a man and help me in my everyday life and my everyday job right now, and the impact was just major, It took me, the Sonic Boom of the South took me, and Dr. Louis Liddell helping give me the opportunity. It took a kid from New Orleans, which is a Sheldon place, a place where a lot of people don't get to escape out of. Our city is kind of hard to get out, especially when you grew up in the hood of our city. It's hard to escape that city, that mentality. It's a very laissez-faire, what we call a laid-back attitude type city. It's hard to break out of. The Sonic Boom of the South gave me, and Jackson State gave me an opportunity to expand and get out of there. Dr. Louis Liddell gave me the money, the scholarship, and the means to get out of my city and to get a college education. And what I learned from the Boom, the Boom was a family environment. It was a family outside of a family. I came to Jackson State not knowing anyone, not knowing nothing. I was on a band camp. I was in a hallway. I didn't know a soul or individual, but that bond grew over the years, and how we grew as a family, and was strong. It showed me diversity. It showed me different people, different cultures from people around the United States that I didn't know. We have our own distinct thing in New Orleans, but I was getting to learn about other people and other, and that kind of shapes me and plays a big part in managing artists and traveling and understanding different cultures and things. And then the leadership I learned, the working together philosophy that we teach in the percussion section, I implement in everything I do, in family life, in my job, and with my employees. Everything is a working together type effort and type attitude, because once I unite my artists, my employees together, and we all get on one chord, the force is unstoppable. So I take that philosophy and I put it into what I do right now in the music space, in the music business, how I run my companies. I run my companies just like I ran my section in the band when I was section leader. So those morals, those values, Dr. Liddell gave me the opportunity to get a college degree, being in college, in different cultures, looking outside of the box that I was in New Orleans, shaped me to be the person I am, and it helps me in the day, in the life that I'm living. So it was only right. It was only right that I reaped a whole lot of benefits, God blessed me to be in a position where I've earned a lot, and I never got into it for any money or anything like that. Never wanted to be rich a day in my life. Never dreamed about the lifestyles, the lavish lifestyle, anything like that, So I always knew when God put this place that it was for a reason. That He gave me all this so I could give back, in any kind of way I can, whether it's lecturing at schools based on, what's really out there and opportunity and success, whether it's monetary, when I'm able to give back. So this is one of those situations to where though it made all the sense in the world, because what the Boom shaped me out to be and how it plays a big role in what I'm doing right now. So it was like a no-brainer, And I looked went to my financial advisor, so whatever the most I could do, say I want to do that because it means that much to me, and hopefully some other kids could have scholarships, get out of some city, have the same opportunities that I had, and to move on with their life in their professional careers, and that's how it happened. Oh, and I gave the award, and it awarded the check at the annual band banquet that we have, annual marching band banquet that we have every spring.
Okay, yeah, and there are a lot of pictures of that. You giving the check and everything, really proud day. But all the things you said is really powerful, and that's what I hope that some of these young people, even people maybe our age or older, that they get from this podcast or from this network. The opportunity, like you said, and the things that you learn from a college degree, from a historically black college, from the band, those morals and those things that you apply. And all people across all bands, they learn those things, but I can tell you just at Jackson State, the prestige, and I'm sure that, maybe the folks at FAM or Southern can say the thing, but the prestige that was in that band room with you, you know what I mean? You go in there to practice, I mean, it was tough. And, for me, you talk about things like that you grew from. For me, it was going down the line playing one by one. Man, you talking about something. I used to be so scared when you used to come down the line,
Mr. Adams.
Yeah, oh man, Mr. Adams, man, he would sometimes, and man, sometimes I would be trying to like do my own thing, and he would yell at the band, and I knew I was doing it, and it's just like, wow. So then, he'd go down the line, but just that pressure, man, I'm definitely able to apply it. When I'm in a corporate meeting, or when I'm the only certain type of face and in certain situations, and it's time for me to stand up and speak, or it's time for me to do my thing. It takes me right back to them days where, and we were a big band, so when it was time to go down the line, you had a good 80 people at a time listening to you. And that's maybe if you guys were in the band room with us, because it really didn't help when WT was in the room and that happened. Because, of course, y'all had a lot of, all the clowning went on there. So definitely, man, you definitely bring up a lot of memories. But, yeah, all of those morals and things we picked up from the band, it definitely has, it's helped out. So I'm glad that you did what you did, and I didn't know about an endowment fund either. I know Kevin Lewis has put a lot on Facebook about what they're planning to do with the money and stuff. So it's just a great opportunity. It's really, really exciting. So do you have I don't want to take too much of your time, but do you have any advice for the young youth out there, any youth, especially from New Orleans or any of these other cities? I know St. Louis really ain't no cakewalk, but anywhere in any of these cities, any type of positive light that you could provide, or any type of advice that you could talk to one of those kids, maybe a young Cortez out there, maybe who possibly listening to this podcast right now.
I mean, first and foremost, just keep God first and find yourself. Whatever it's one thing I'm doing. That's how I move in life, and everything that's happened for me is because of God above. So it was the soul searching moment where I had to find myself through God and get grounded and find myself and figure out what I want to do. And after that, I just put my mind to it. Anything you want to do is possible through Him. So prayed on a lot of things and had that relationship, and a lot of things happened for me. So I mean that's the starting point. And once you have your heart on something and you know it's right in your heart, you know it's right for you to be doing, then just move on, and everything will fall into place. It's not always going to be easy. I've had a lot of success, but I've had a lot of it was a hard climb. The first 3 or 4 or 5 years was a hard climb. A lot of times I was ready to give up. But on my heart, I knew that I was supposed to be here to do this, and I never did. And I persevered, you know what I'm saying, and everything fell into place. So it's going to be a lot of trying times, but never give up and keep pushing forward and what you know is on your heart that you're supposed to be here to do on this earth, and everything will fall in place.
That's outstanding, man. That's outstanding. Now, could you, wrapping up, could you let us know, like, how we can support you? Also, could you let us know, you have 2 companies. Could you just give us, I guess, your job title and the ways that we can support you and follow what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, my job title, I'm CEO, Chief Visionary Officer at Young Money Entertainment. That's Wayne, Lil Wayne is the CEO, and the music expert, and I kind of like guide all the projects for us on the business side with the relationship that we have with Cash Money Universal. So everybody that's signed to the label, from Tyga to Drake and so on and so forth, you know what I'm saying? I got to make sure their careers are blossoming, you know, and their albums and projects in the store. And on the other hand, I have a management company which started with managing Lil Wayne. It's called the Blueprint Group. Right now we're doing wonderful. We manage Lil Wayne, we manage Tip, T.I., Nicki Minaj, and we got some little twists. We got some younger artists, a guy named Hit Boy, who produced, a Grammy-winning producer, young lady named Chanel West Coast. I mean, business is great and blessed to have things I have. If you like any of the artists that I named, you know, just keep supporting them any kind of way you support. Buying a concert ticket, and you know what I'm saying, just listening to them on the radio. It's support. I wouldn't ask anybody to do anything, you know, more than what they can, you know, if you like those artists. We kind of got an eclectic balance of different types of hip-hop. So, you know, we got from the backpack hip-hop with Hit Boy to your commercial hip-hop with Wayne and Nicki Minaj for the ladies. So got just about a little bit involved. So if y'all support any of those people in any type of way, you know, that'll be supporting me directly, and I appreciate that a lot.
Well, I sure appreciate you, Cortez, man. Like I say, and I called you CB at the beginning for all the listeners out there. That's Crab, brother. But really proud of you, man. Like, I just had no idea. Like I said, I saw you on like VA, and I was like, what? Like, I was floored. Just hearing and just seeing like Lil Wayne, Drake, and all that. And especially like Drake, you know, last year. I mean, he's like been Mondo huge. So just like seeing that and just always knowing that like my Crab brother, like the first dude I really saw like twirling cymbals is doing it. And now knowing that Black, because we both love Black, man, that's one of the funniest dudes I've ever met. And to know that he was starting from scratch, I'm still floored. I'm about to like call him now to mess with him about that. But yeah, I mean, I just had no idea, because just like you said, he was just right in line with everybody else. So just much respect to you, man. Much love. Keep doing what you're doing. And I really appreciate your time today.
No problem. Oh, yeah, to add on one more thing. If anyone is on Jackson State campus, me, myself, and another one of our Crab brothers, Nick Bigpin, we opened up a sports bar called the University Sports Bar and Sports Bar and Grill on campus. So it's real dope. So if you haven't Jackson, anybody listening who's in the Jackson area, or they haven't come visit Jackson State, you know, it's a place to come eat some good food, listen to some live music, you know, music field. We got a Sonic Boom mural in dedicated to the Boom. It's really dope. So anytime you're in Jackson, please stop by.
And that's Thigpen?
Yeah, it's been Thigpen, man.
Oh, Thig, our other Crab brother.
Yeah.
That's something else you just dropped the bomb. I hadn't been back to Jackson in a minute, but yeah, you know, my frat brother as well. So, man, I really appreciate you, Cortez. Let it spreading the knowledge, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of our CBs and a lot of folks in the band listening to this interview. So, shouts out to the Boom, and like I said, I really appreciate your time, man.
No problem, bro.
All right, we're back live, and we apologize for all the audio issues that we had, and we're thankful that we were able to get the interview there out and out on the web and here in this amount of time. We went over more than what we projected to be for our length of time on the air, but it's all good and everything looks like it's all functional, and hopefully everybody can still hear me out there and they heard the interview. Everything's all thumbs up. We heard from the sponsors a second time during that break again, so we won't play the sponsorship commercials again. We did have one correspondence during the interview. That's another one of our Crab brothers. It's Kobe Vaughn. I'll be seeing Kobe since I'll be going down to Jackson and probably checking out that place that Cortez was just actually talking about. Kobe, also my frat brother as well. Just wanted to say shout out to the 97 Crab class there at WT. He was on that line there with Cortez and all them, so we really appreciate him for listening and calling in. So we really appreciate you for listening, and we apologize for the audio issues. But, like I said, it looks like we're all here, and, hopefully we'll never have that happen again, or, we'll be able to take care of it in the future. So, again, we appreciate your time, appreciate the ear, appreciate the listening, appreciate you, appreciate your time. Spread the word about the Marching Podcast. Again, I want to thank Cortez for his time. Check out the website, www.themarchingpodcast.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Thanks to you for listening, and remember, the eye is a better pupil and more willing than the ear. Advice may be misleading, and examples are always clear. See you next time.